certainly is, and that's, one, football, college football, NFL, it's a very small world, right? So most of the time, whether it's myself, somebody on our coaching staff, we're going to have a connection to that staff, and we're typically going to start there. We're going to call them right away and say, well, what do you really think of the kid? Why is he leaving? Is there any baggage? Would you recommend him? And then some of them, too, are guys that we recruited out of high school, which, that provides an extra level of comfort because we go right back to the high school coach, and typically they end up having a pretty good relationship with the kid, even when he goes to college. But that is the scary part. We had a couple of our guys transfer other places, and the schools they went to never called us, which, hey, good for them. But I would be a little worried that you don't even reach out just to gauge anything, But that's not how we're going to operate. We're going to try and dig as much as possible, but it's this day and age. The transfer portal and the window being open, there's so much coverage. So when names pop up, I've got a board of just guys on my desk, and I'm constantly texting coaches. This guy hit the portal. See if you know anybody we can reach out. I'll try and hit up the kid. I'll try and hit up the high school coach. It's just constantly going. I don't know how I feel about the window per se. I actually think the window's made this worse. Honestly, I kind of liked the rules last year just because it wasn't so chaotic and crazy those first few days out. But it's where we're at. We'll adapt and adjust to it. But it is tough. It's a challenge. And I don't know if there's a perfect answer to how you're supposed to attack it this way, other than we just know we've got to dig as much as possible to understand, if we're getting engaged and married with this guy, we got to know what we're inheriting. Is he going to be good in our locker room? Is he going to be good with our players? Because that's still a big part of it, too. When these guys come on campus, we still take a lot of input from our current team. Hey, what do you think? Is he going to fit with us or is he not? If they tell us he doesn't, then we'll move on.
You signed a running back from Wiley, Texas, which is kind of interesting. But it was kind of a whirlwind, if you want to call it that. He gets here late Saturday night, and after decommitting from Purdue, what happened with that recruitment, and what do you think of Terrell?
So Terrell's his whole process is actually really interesting. So he was going to Purdue, right, and Coach Braun takes a really good job. And his parents, he's a mid-year enrollee, so he'll be here in January. His parents had scheduled a cruise as a kind of a parting gift before he went to college. So he was actually on a cruise for 7 days in the prime time for him to go visit schools. And we had talked back and forth. Like I initially said, hey, Liddell, you just need to go down and see him and his family on Saturday night when they get back from the cruise. It's just going to be really tough for them to get up here and turn around that quick. And we ultimately settled in on bringing him in. And this poor kid and his family, they sat on the airplane. They were supposed to arrive at 11 or 7 p.m. on Saturday night. They actually landed at like 3:42 a.m., sat on the runway for about 5.5 hours, and they were awesome sports about it. It didn't ruffle at all. We kind of moved the schedule back Sunday. When you only have 12 hours to have an official visit, it's already really condensed and tight. So I was trying to give them a couple extra hours of sleep, but they were awesome. And we knew the coach down there really well. We've had a prior relationship. They obviously brought up and just compared their games basically. But he's a pretty quiet kid. But when you see him, the thing I like the most when we get kids up here is we go to the photo shoot at Kinnick Stadium, right? Because then you really get to see body types on kids. I know it may sound weird, but it's true. You get to see what they really look like because they come in with big jackets and hoodies on, like you can't really see everything. And our biggest thing was just, hey, how big is he actually? And when he gets here, you still don't see it. But once he puts on the jersey, I texted Liddell and I was like, this kid's gonna be all right. Like, I think we're fine. But Dad's a really good human being. Played D-end actually at Illinois. Went to the same high school as Christian Kirksey, Don Shumpert, so Hazelwood Central. So there was a little bit of connection there. Played against Liddell, so they kind of had an instant connection. And then Mom's a really sharp lady too. And just the way they handled the visit, coming off a 7-day cruise, driving 5 hours to get back home, go to the airport to sit there forever, and getting in here late, that can start the visit on a really sour note. And they were great about the whole thing. And it was a good visit overall. We're excited about him. He's really versatile. Obviously, you see him do a lot of different things. He played high school quarterback his sophomore year. Played quarterback, running back his junior year. This year was split out between playing in the slot and playing running back. Really good hands. He's got some versatility to him that we thought would be a good addition to the room.
You probably never had a world champion wrestler in your football recruiting class before, but
that's some good ones, but not.
Yeah, right. And I'm sure you have to deal with Tom Rands on this topic too. So what are the plans kind of with Ben Kueter? I know he's probably going heavyweight, so that probably helps in the weight control sense.
We have a great relationship with wrestling.
Yeah.
And you can probably imagine how the conversation went when we initially told him, like, hey, how are we going to work this out? Brand just told us just get it done. Like, all right, easy enough. We'll talk later. We haven't gone through the specifics yet. We're going through right now with Brody Brecht and baseball, so we have some familiarity with it. It's going to be probably a little bit different in wrestling, but there's such a good relationship, we'll figure it out. You know, and I'm assuming he's going to wrestle heavyweight. We haven't really discussed that. That would just be my assumption, obviously. But he's a kid he's got such a big frame where I think he's going to naturally add some weight pretty quick. But we're not going to do anything to hurt him or, you know, put it on too quick. We'll just kind of see where his body goes. But talking about a determined kid and just determined kid and how he operates and what he does, it's on a whole different level. You know, and talking with the Brands, it's funny because we're just like, you know, how is this really going to work once he gets on campus? And this Coach Brand is like, if there's one kid that can make both these sports work, I'm not going to bet against Ben. And we kind of agree with him because when you meet Ben and talk to him, this kid's he's a beast. He's a complete animal. I don't know how he does it, but he just keeps rolling. So it'll be good to get Ben here, and we're excited, and we'll see where it goes.
Does it pose a challenge when in June you think you're getting a 5-star offensive lineman, and then right before signing day you find out that you don't have that?
You know, I know we have the 24-hour rule after losses and losing recruits, and yeah, it stinks. It stinks. But at the end of the day, it's like Coach said, it's got to be his choice and what's best for him and his family. And we wish him well. And I shot Kadyn and his parents the same text, just hey, best of luck down there. We got you. I said ignore all the noise on social media. Just look at my mentions if you want to laugh at some stuff too, because I get the same thing. But just don't worry about that. You guys got to do what's best for you. And honestly, in this day and age of the transfer portal, who knows what the future holds? You know, so we're wishing them well. But again, it's not about the one guy we didn't get. It's about the 23 guys we signed today.
Quarterback, you're bringing in obviously 2 quarterbacks, but on Marco. Seems like you guys are really high on him, as you might imagine, but what do you like about him? It seems like he's a different type of quarterback than you've recruited before.
Yeah, but Marco's a really good athlete. You know, he's got a really sturdy build, almost looks like a linebacker. He's a great kid from a really, really good family. He's got those innate leadership abilities. Guys like being around him, you know, and that's what you want in a quarterback. You know, Spencer's the same way. You want a guy that can come in and command the huddle, command the team. Wants guys to, you know, follow him into a burning fire, and that's who Marco is. You know, he's an ultimate competitor. Obviously, has played really good football the last 3 years out there, and the stats back that up. And it'll be good. It'll be good to get him here. Wish we could get him here in January. Unfortunately, his academic schedule at his school didn't allow that. But you know, he'll be fine once he gets here in June. And there's not enough good you can say about Marco, and just his family. I mean, his parents are unbelievable. And that, you know, when we recruit guys, we like seeing that whole makeup. That makes you feel good about everything.
What do you like about